Xur is here to ruin the Crucible this week. He has brought Graviton Lance, and we're going to go through his entire inventory, everything he's got from start to finish. Graviton Lance has been buffed. This thing is absolutely nasty, Crucible. I love using it. The explosions from it can get you multiple kills afterwards. So strong, such a fun exotic to use, or OP if you are of that nature, if you believe that it's OP. And we have Orpheus Rig, which is an extremely strong S-tier exotic for your hunters. I would highly recommend to have one of these sitting around. If you're going to debuff bosses, use Orpheus Rig. It lasts a little bit longer. It's definitely a must-have exotic for hunters, and one that works really, really good for debuffing when we're doing damage phases, trying to one-phase bosses and stuff. Then we have Crest of Alpha LUCKYY, which we rarely ever use for Titans, but if we do, it's usually just to make more orbs when we pop the bubble. This roll is pretty terrible though, so I'd probably pass on that because 60 mobility is not it. 67 stats overall is pretty cool though, but too much mobility. Then we have Claws of Ahamkara, which has recently been buffed. It has heavy-handed built into it now, which is nice and synergizes well with how the exotic works, where it gives you double melees. The exotic roll on this overall is not too bad either. I mean, 65 stats, maybe a little too much mobility, so you might want to snag that. As far as weapons go, we've got a Cold Denial with Zen Moment Sympathetic Arsenal. This is average roll at best for the Cold Denial. We have a Tears of Contrition with Triple Tap and Mulligan. That's a bad roll. Hard pass on that. Next up, we have Brass Attacks with a Wellspring Surplus. Okay, it's if you want to get your abilities from Wellspring, I guess, but usually you're going to go with the damage perk on the sidearm, so we're going to pass on that roll, but it's kind of an okay roll. Cartesian Coordinate is one of my favorite fusion rifles in PvE, especially if you have Lead from Gold Vorpal. Unfortunately, we have Under Pressure and Swashbuckler, so we're going to have to pass on this roll. That sucks. Could have been an amazing roll. We have the 7th Seraph CQC with Lead from Gold and Shield Disorient. That is a terrible roll. We're going to pass on that. We have the Threaded Needle, which has been outclassed by the Taipan, which can also be crafted and has better perks. This one has Rangefinder and Demo, so hard pass on the Threaded Needle. Rip. And then the Gnawing Hunger, which is one of my favorite auto rifles, does have Rampage, which is one of its better perks. So it's actually a decent roll, probably the best roll of all the weapons we have this week. If you're going to grab anything, I would grab that. As far as armor goes, we've got some gauntlets that are abysmal. 20 mobility on your Titan. Pass on the Titan gauntlets. The Titan chest is insane though. 66 stats, high recovery, discipline, strength. That's nice. Then we have an extremely high recovery, discipline helmet with 67 stats. Just sitting there waiting for you. And a 66 stat pair of boots. So some actually pretty nice Titan armor. This week we've got the Hawk Moon with Killing Wind, and we've got near max handling, so a decent roll of the Hawk Moon, I'd say. One of the better rolls. And then a DMT with 4 times the charm, so we can pass on that roll. Not the best roll for PvP or PvE. Now let's go ahead and pull up the armor for the other characters, okay? We've got the Hunter armor here. 63 stat gauntlets, decent. 67 stat chest with high intellect. I'd pass on the high intellect, we don't really need that. And then 62 stat helmet with high strength. You really don't need that much strength on Hunter because you can just dodge near enemies, get your melee back. That's how most Hunter builds work. Same thing with the boots, too much strength, so I'd pass on those. The Warlock armor, we have way too much mobility, trash gauntlets, trash chest, trash helmet, and trash boots. Pass on all of those. However, one thing you can do is make sure to grab that Cypher from Xur, so that way you can focus that for exotics at the tower. Let me know your thoughts about Xur's inventory this week. Are you snagging anything? Do you agree with my opinions on the weapons and armor? And make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed. Smash the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Later.